Alright, this is a video for Yarbo. It hasn't worked this week, and they're trying to diagnose it. It is currently 10:12 a.m. Saturday, May 24th, Chicago time zone, Central. As you can see, there's a bald patch in front of Yarbo because Yarbo's algorithms for turning and aligning with the dock are horrible. What it should do is, inside of its code, it should draw a line straight off of this pad out to here. When Yarbo approaches the dock, it should line up on this line, and then it should reverse into the dock. It does not. It pulls in front of it, does a bunch of stupid 180 moves that completely tear up the grass. Apart from that, Yarbo also has to use paths to get from one part of my yard to the other. And even though it could completely deduce that without a path, and even though it could avoid using the same path over and over, it doesn't. And so you end up with permanent tracks in your yard for every part that it has to go mow, which really sucks. Hopefully they fix it. It's junior stuff that it should have never been created that way, in my opinion. But I'm an excellent developer, so I produce excellence, and it irks me to see that this machine here doesn't have the excellence it could. So we're over here on the Yarbo app. You can see it's completely charged. The Yarbo app does not tilt for landscape, which is that's just laziness on the part of the developer. It's easy to write in the Swift language, and it absolutely has the capability to turn in the language. The developers were just too lazy to actually implement that. So hopefully that's something they fix too. So I'm gonna go ahead and it's all the different sections of my yard, and I'm gonna go ahead and tell it just to start with day 3. What the hell is this crap? Okay. So now we tell it to start. Calculating map. Yarbo's gonna drive off of here. Yarbo also shouldn't have to stop to turn. It makes it slower. I don't know. I would write an algorithm to take the same path and put in more waypoints and have the turn be a little smoother, a little more subtle. Now, as you notice, the grass is a little tall here. Because the lawn crew hasn't been able to get out to mow yet, and obviously Yarbo's been broke for a week, so. There we go. Yeah, it's tear up the grass more, Yarbo, even though I have you set for whatever your more elegant turning solution is. Over here you can see I have less grass. We've done some earthwork here, and this is still growing in, but this is where Yarbo is going to attempt to start mowing. You gotta wonder, what the hell is it doing? Like, this is an awful lot of turns to even get to a spot where it can start, which I presume is maybe what it's doing. Goodness. Kick these sticks out of the way. Hey, so there we go. Fired up its blades. Going backwards. Going backwards. Kick this little stick out of its way here. And it says it's adjusting the blade here. Previously it would do this, and then when it tries to go forwards, it shuts off the blade and then just does nothing. Now it says it's recharging automatically. Yo, you're already charged, guy. Look at all the ridiculous turns it's gonna do to get to the charger. Yarbo should not care if it's going forwards or backwards when it's traveling. Honestly, I mean, it should be able to drive backwards all the way to the dock. And I don't know if you do this because you think it'll catch on stuff, which, you know, maybe it does, but it seems that the software could do better if it were able to operate the same in reverse as it does in forward. So it's now 10:20 a.m. Saturday, May 24th. What is this shit, dude? You're just gonna mess up the... See, this is why we can't get grass to grow here. Yarbo just rips the crap out of it all day long. It looks like it's trying to get to this path, which is absurd because this is already an area it mows. So in my opinion, Yarbo should not need any freaking paths unless it's an area it's not connected to. The fact that it think it needs to use a path now on an area it already knows what the obstacles are, in an area it already mows, and all this does is make it put more ruts in the yard. I hear you, Mr. Owl. I feel the same way. It could be amazing. It just needs better software or people to watch it when it runs and refine it. Now watch. It's gonna pull up here and it's gonna spin in the dirt. Now it's facing it. Why would you even be facing the dock at this point, Yarbo? That's not the way you pull onto it. And now we see why we have a bald spot here. And you can see on the app here, it says it's at 100%. Now it says we're suspended. And cutting height, motor over current. All right. So now I'm going to go ahead and just end this. I'm going to go to the controller. We're going to clear the error. For good measure, we'll go ahead and also reboot it. Now, I've noticed that there are a lot of settings that aren't retained when reboots occur. Not necessarily on the Yarbo. I've noticed on the data center, the light setting does not, the light will go on when we have it set for off. Because for us, the lights are annoying. On the charger here, this has a light too. This is really bright at night. Now, this is a wildlife refuge out here. So we have turtles. We're in a season now where turtles are laying eggs, and we turn off all the lights so that the hatchlings can follow the moon to the water, which you can see there's a body of water over there, and there's a creek along here, and that's where the hatchlings will go. So we have to block this with tape so that we can care for the wildlife out here. I know some people might like these lights, but for us, they're just an annoyance. If I want to know the state of charging, I can look at the app. It would be nice to have the ability to turn that light off. Okay, still waiting for this Yarbo to reboot here. I don't know why it turns on the lights when it reboots. What need is there for that?
Ready to work.
Okay, so we come back to the app here. All right, since it thinks it's ready to work, we'll send it to another section. See here. Guess we'll just try this. You know, there's annoying app. Map disconnected. Oh, that's right. It shouldn't be. How annoying. All of my maps overlap, so there's no actual disconnection of any maps. This is just annoying piece of crap software. All of these mowing areas overlap. There's no such thing as any of them being disconnected. Fail to calculate. Okay, so let's try another one here. Wow, Yarbo. I think that the map has since disconnected because I got tired of seeing these tracks here ruining the front yard. So I deleted the path, and that's why part of the previous one was still disconnected. But Yarbo, what should happen is you shouldn't use the same paths over and over. This is ruining people's yards, and this is supposed to beautify people's yards. So what you need to do is simply calculate the path from one area to another. You need to store all of the previous paths so that you can offset them each time and not leave these nasty tracks in the yard. The tracks are great for this getting around. They're horrible. Okay. It's getting up here. Let's see what it's gonna do. Oh, I guess it's not gonna start there. Wow. This thing's so wildly inefficient. That's another thing I guess I would point out about those paths. Since it shifts where it starts in the yard, the path isn't always at the optimal spot. This could save a lot of time. Because you see here, there's a house. There's where it was mowing before. This is the front yard here, which actually this is several areas that we have mapped out. It can't do the front yard in one day. So if it didn't have the path to take it to the wrong part of the yard, it would actually get this done quicker, and it would be able to recharge quicker, everything. Now to me, these are obvious things. Like if you watch this run, completely obvious. So it looks like they did a bare minimum effort on getting the software up. Or I don't know if they use Indian developers or what. I know most of my Chinese friends are really great developers and really care about a good result. My Korean friends, see, it should get around this here. And I've spent a bit of time traveling in China and Tibet as well. I really love the culture. I know you have good developers there. See, those are the tracks there. I cut off that path because look at the yard. That's what it does to it using these stupid paths. And you know what? It's even done well at mowing our berm here. Around this pond, it goes all the way down there. It could do things fantastically. And actually, we could produce the most amazing videos of the things it does, because this is definitely a place where it could shine, and we could show that it does shine. Apart from trees, there's a lot of places where it does have issues. Okay, it looks like it wants to start here. Blades are turned on now. That's typically what happens. It starts to move and then the blades shut off. Now it's in a state where it's saying, please wait until the blades reach the required speed. And they did hit the right speed. It's just when it moved, it seems to kind of jolt itself and then the blades stop. And that makes me wonder if this isn't a sensor issue. See, blades turned on, and then as soon as it moved backwards, boom, they kicked off. This is the behavior I initially observed. And under the deck is nice and clean. There's nothing under there. Now, I will say the underside of the deck's pretty poorly designed. The bane of the existence of the Yarbo is about a 5-inch long stick that'll get wedged up under there. Like that happens a lot. And when I look at how the underbelly's designed, it seems you could have already known that, looking at the way it's designed, that it would catch things. It doesn't seem like it was thoughtfully designed in terms of being able to forgo having things stuck under it. So now we're still stuck on, please wait until the blades reach the required speed. and it'll pretty much sit here all day. The time right now is 10:33 a.m. Saturday, May 24th. All right, well, it'll sit here all day in this state. And again, it's generally that it tries to move. So I'll show you here. I'm gonna go ahead and pause this. Now, we'll lift up the deck. Look under here. It's relatively clean. There are no sticks. Those can spin. I'll hit resume. Let's see. Try to hit resume. Continue. Seems to hit a little bump and the mower turns off. That makes me think maybe it's a sensor or something like that. It's able to fire up and do everything, and then hits a little bump, pops off. Also point out the little sticker on the back of this. I don't know if I was supposed to take that off. I guess maybe that was just for assembly, but it definitely doesn't stay. It doesn't stick to it permanently. Alrighty, so it's done the same thing here. Basically, it kicks on the blades, and then as soon as it moves, something tells it to turn off the blades. I would say it's a short, you know, but the blades come right on just fine when it tells it to. So I'm gonna go, and I don't know if there's a sensor that's kicking on telling it that. I don't know if it's got like a gyroscope or an accelerometer that you're using to deduce inertia. And if that's what's telling it to kick off. So we'll go ahead and tell it to end. And tell it to recharge. Now again, it's going to do a bunch of these turns in the same spot here, which is tearing up the grass. There's absolutely ways to write turning algorithms in your software that will avoid that. So easy. Like I just can't believe how bad the turning is, and I can't believe that it has to use paths for known areas. That's just absurd. If y'all hired me, I would make this thing beautiful so quickly, but I also cost about $200,000 a year. And if you're all right with that, hey, I will make this thing badass. Hire me. So now it's going to go back to the same path. The charger's over there. The path that connects to this is over there now. So instead of going to the charger, it's going to go way back over this corner. So we'll go ahead and just end the video now. You know, it's going to make it back to charge. I don't see any errors on the app here. But usually it does produce one of the overcurrent errors or something like that, which we go reset. So hopefully that's enough data for you to find this stuff in the logs and see what the heck is happening with this. So please fix it. This could be good. It has been the most frustrating experience, and the worst part of Yarbo is the support and the lies. They lie to you so much. Even in this particular incident, Yarbo quit sending me emails because I simply asked them, hey, please be compliant and provide a link for your customers to unsubscribe to the advertisement emails. We still want the important ones. Let us unsubscribe from the advertisement. I also sent them a physical link to the FTC, the Federal Trade Commission. I sent them a link to their guidelines in the Can Spam Act. Super easy to implement. Every other company on the planet provides unsubscribe links as is lawful. Not Yarbo. Yarbo actually blocked me from all their emails and I wasn't getting any. So then I got things like syringes in the mail, got other weird stuff in the mail, and to me it's just weird shit from China. And I'm going, what is this? You know, used to they sent seeds over here and a lot of other weird things. But getting syringes from Yarbo just out of the blue there, and see that turn? Like that was not a delicate turn at all. But apparently the guy told me that the syringes had a purpose and I was supposed to have gotten an email, but they blocked me from all their emails. Well, then I told the guy, I said, well, you should send me the important emails, so please do that. And please become compliant and be like every other company on the planet that provides unsubscribe links. Instead of doing that, he just re-enabled me so they can spam me again. They did not become compliant. They're not providing customers the way to opt out of their advertising emails. And then when I asked him to please send me the important emails regarding these things they've sent, like the syringes, I've asked him 3 times to do this. All they do is ignore me and then say, oh, we're sorry. Your apologies are worthless. Like, why ignore me? And why not just send the emails that I need to know what the hell these syringes are? But instead, you're just gonna ignore it. And like, why? I don't understand. And that's what makes Yarbo seem like a scam. And makes it seem like it's being ran by a scammer call center. So we saw all the unnecessary turns the Yarbo made, and that's why I have a bald spot. What Yarbo should have done in the software, if it already knows the position of this pad, it should draw a line down the center of it coming out here. It should pull forward out to here. Then it should reverse up onto here. Super easy, obvious stuff. All right, hopefully y'all can fix this because it's just a brick that is ruining my yard at this point.